More than 400 of its stones are covered in swirling, abstract art, almost half of all the megalithic art in the whole of Western Europe. This is where the precious macehead was found. And it wasn't the only spectacular discovery. Archaeologist George Ogan has been studying Knowth for 50 years.
You could picture that you had a religious person, the equivalent of a priest, you see, who could stand here before the entrance. This is directly opposite the entrance, and in between you have this splendid sandstone, 6 feet or so in height, with the vertical line which leads up the centre of the passage.
Back in 1968, George was the first person in modern times to break into the tomb. How long is the passage?
About 140 feet.
Are you winning?
Oh, it'll take me a long time. No hurry.
Right. I see why you don't have this place open to the public, George.
Yeah.
It's not the easiest place.
No.
Now. Oh my. Oh, I say.
Look up.
Now that's a bit good. And this is as it was. This hasn't been reconstructed.
Oh no, not at all.
What was it like the very first time
Like this.
you came in here? But how did you feel to be the first person in goodness knows how long?
Well, it was unbelievably exciting.
What George found were the untouched remnants of ancient sacred rites. A time capsule of Neolithic belief. Magnificent. And scattered in and around this exquisitely carved basin was evidence of something new in Stone Age society. Burnt human remains. These are some of the earliest remains of ritual cremation ever found.
Well, the skull is the easiest to find because the skull is very distinctive. It has an inner layer and an outer layer and a bit of spongy bone in between.
Although only fragments survive, under expert eyes, these remains reveal a wealth of information.
Some areas of the skull are more important than others, and this part in particular is called the petrous portion of the temporal bone, and it survives very well because it's thick. And from this I can identify which side of the skull it came from. So it's useful in determining the number of individuals, because if I've got 2 left temporal bones, then I've got 2 different individuals.
Forensic science reveals that Knowth contained over 100 cremated bodies. But those cremations were accumulated over centuries of use.
The radiocarbon dates showed that was over approximately 300-year time span. And that works out at 1 cremation every 2 to 3 years. So therefore, cremation wasn't that common.
What Laureen Buckley's work shows is that the new practice of cremation was unusual. This rarity and the discovery of the Knowth macehead suggests that it was an honour reserved for only the very highest levels of late Neolithic society.